story is a color guard competition. Exciting performances by young people who combine music, gymnastics, and grace.
Mandarins is a lot more than just picking up a horn, learning a show. Mandarins teaches people values that they can use through their entire lives.
February 1963, in Sacramento, 4 young men sat down to discuss the possible birth of a Chinese youth organization.
We were never a championship drum corps, but it doesn't prevent you from trying to get there. And sometimes the journey is as important as the destination.
When I marched, 60 kids, 20 in the horn line, facing corps that had 128. We always dreamt of that. We just had no idea how to attain that level.
DCI was just something that everybody talked about. You always wanted to be there, you always wanted to be it, and it was a dream.
We didn't start out as the Mandarins. It was the Yiwa Drum and Bugle Corps. How we got to Yiwa was the fact that it was Yi Fao Zhonghua. So, we kind of contracted and called it Yiwa. Yi is, of course, Yi Fao is Sacramento in Chinese.
Frank Lim, Thomas Fong, Yuk Fong, and Roy Wong all came together to plan the organization. After a month of planning, they sent a letter to the entire Chinese community informing them of the news. They announced the coming of the Yiwa Drum and Bell Corps.
This sparked the community's interest. They saw this as an opportune way to capture the essence of pride, traditions, and value in one single activity and pass it on to their children.
And so that's how we got started. It's Yiwa Drum and Bugle Corps, and then eventually the name was changed to Mandarin, and it's been the Mandarins ever since.
Okay, my name's Kim Wong, and I started in Mandarins. It's kind of like a family affair. My older brother and sister marched in the horn line. My parents all volunteered, so I joined when I was 12, and I was in the Guard, of course. And then I came back to instruct in the Guard till 2001. And then I took probably about 15, 16-year break, and then I got tabuchied by Jim Tabuchi to ask me to start up the health and wellness team. So I came back, and Dr. Dan and myself, we started the health and wellness program in fall of 2017. So we're there 2018, and I've been on the co-director there for about 4 years and part of the health and wellness team to this day.
My name is Jim Tabuchi. My capacity within the Corps has been a lot of things, actually. Starting as a marching member from 79 to 81, I marched in the horn line, first couple years as a lead soprano, then made my way over and played mellophone in 1981. Actually, the day after I retired, Dr. Dan had asked me to come in and help teach the horn line. I taught the trumpet section for about 5 years, enjoyed that immensely, and then I got tapped on the shoulder to become the corps director. Did that from 2010 to 2016, but in 2013, that's when Ray Marr, who was my predecessor for 30 years, again tapped me on the shoulder and said that he was going to retire. So in 2013, he asked me to step up as the executive director. At which time brought in JW to run the Corps, and then I took over as the president and CEO for the Mandarins.
So when I started in the color guard, I started off with this uniform back here. It was still part of the traditional, more military. I knew how to mark time, do all the bout faces, to the rears, all of that. And that was Star Wars year. That was our show in '78. We didn't have Frohoff or someone doing the design. So I learned as a 12-year-old how to make these seams on this weird silvery thing. So pretty much that's all the Guard had to make their own uniforms. So that was the first year, but we continued on with that for 79, 1980, and we kept on improving and improving, and that was the year that we went to WGI. So this was at Cape Cod, Massachusetts. And then we also did our so-called famous splits in one line. That was my introduction and all of our introduction to WGI and seeing all these guards that you only hear about, but to see them in person.
Raymond, Nancy, Jim. The Tangerines are instructed by Brian Lyle, Greg Lyle.
Had a winter guard from 83, 84, 85. Those were the years I was guard captain. And then winter guard continued on. It was already there in 1992. I instructed 93, 94, 95. We did go to WGI in 94, 95, 96. 96 is a unique year because that's where we had the live music. So our percussionists, that was our taiko drumming year. The guard, and which were also the percussionists, battery guys, we all made the taiko drum.
Mr. Marr, where do you see Mandarins headed in the future?
This is the first year in Division I competition. I see probably where that will continue. I don't necessarily see the Corps getting any larger than it is today. Competitively, I think there's still progress to be made. I'd like to, somewhere down the road, see Mandarins get their own home, whether that be a clubhouse or a building or whatever it is. I think that would be very good.
I've continually been demoted by this guy. He's one of the most amazing leaders in the world, and it's just very, very near and dear to my heart. That's Mr. Raymar. Here we go.
And 1, 2, 3. Yeah!
So thinking back to 2013, I actually have kind of goosebumps on my arms right here. It was a very memorable time for us. So for me, this is my first year as the executive director and going into the 50th anniversary. So the whole part about it for me was making sure to pay honor and respect to Raymar, who had been the leader of the organization for 30 years. But then looking at the 50th anniversary as the golden anniversary, it's a very special accomplishment, right? And if you look back to all of the drum corps throughout the world, right, very few have made it to 50 years. We're now one of the oldest drum corps in the country. And so the 50th anniversary we knew was very exciting, and we wanted to do two things. We wanted to honor the past and also set the foundation for the future. What we had done for the show to commemorate it was actually a few different things. One was the show design was all about recognizing the heritage of the founders and the members who'd come before us in the Mandarins. And if you look back to immigration of Chinese when they came to the United States, there was a method that they came by which was called being a paper son, which was that they would come to the US and actually pretend that they had a relative here in the United States. And they would be interrogated and just to make sure that they did have relatives here. And so we based our show off of that story. And I actually brought, there's a book called Paper Son, Lee's Journey to America, that's here. And this tells the story of Lee coming to America, and this is a lot of what the story was based on.
My first view of America was the Golden Gate Bridge. As we approached Angel Island, my heart pounded with both excitement and fear. I was escorted to a room with many others. Everyone was interrogated. steps to the front door? 7. How many windows are on the front of the house? 6. How many rooftops? 3. Any siblings? 2 brothers.
Well, if anybody, for some silly reason, thought you didn't belong, I'm pretty darn sure you closed the door on that thought, yeah? Yeah! Amazing season. So right now, you're gonna think placements, you're gonna think scores. But in a few more years, you're gonna think memories, the excitement, the pain, the friendships. That's really what you're gonna remember.
Everybody's breathing. We have done things that no Mandarin has ever done before. We just did something that makes every Mandarin extremely proud of us. We did this. And tomorrow, we get to do something yet again that no Mandarin has ever done, and something that will make every single Mandarin proud of us. And something that every future Mandarin after us will be grateful to us for. We laid this down. We did this. But we're not done. We still got tomorrow. Are you guys ready to be dismissed? Yeah! All right. Court, 10, hut. You're dismissed. Go do your stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field for the first time in finals competition.
Every single one of you are now in the record books and in the history of the Mandarins. Everything that you have done, everything that your staff has done, everything that the designers have done has brought us to this point. You guys are the 2018 Mandarins. As long as you live, you will be the ones who didn't knock politely on the door into finals. You kicked the door down. You absolutely kicked the door down. You have made the history of the Mandarins. Whatever you do in your lives from here on out, you remember this point in time. Believe me, you will never, ever forget this moment in time. For the rest of your lives, you will never forget this moment in time. You guys should be extremely proud of yourselves. We are all extremely proud of each one of you.
Performing their 2023 program, Centerman. Drum Corps International is proud to present the Mandarins.
Oh, Centerman, where you you gonna run to? Sandman, where you gonna run to? A crime Oh, Sandman. Oh, Sandman, where you gonna run to? A crime highway.
Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking.
I'm tired. But the wicked are like the troubled sea.
Hello, you know I'm tired.
When it cannot rest.
Hello, you know I'm tired.
There's no peace to the wicked. There's no peace, saith my God, to the wicked. There's no peace, saith my God, to the wicked.
Oh, son of man, where you gonna run to? Will I run to the rock? Please hide me and run to the rock. Please hide me and run to the rock. Please hide me all on my day. Power! sinner man. Are you gonna run too?
Under the direction of J.W. Kester, from Sacramento, California, the Mandarins.